everybody, welcome or welcome back to BnB Anime. I am Blue. I have apparently got a sore throat right now, and this is Brad.
Hello, hi, I'm Brad.
Yeah, and today we're going to be discussing the Mugen arc of Demon Slayer, which is something we've actually covered the film before, so this is kind of a comparison and recoverage. There's more information that came out in these 7 episodes. So if you're interested in that and you want to know more about it, stick around. We do give spoiler warnings. I feel like this is going to be one of those ones where we get new people listening. So we do give spoiler warnings later on before we start going into the actual episode details. So we're just going to give you some background, some discussions before we get started, and then we'll put on those spoiler chicken hats later on.
Yeah, we get to be vain first.
Yes, we do.
Because what would we be if not be the vain people of how we pretend to see ourselves?
Yeah.
I don't call people peasants, and we also don't call Blue Kami-sama for a reason. So, here we are. We are here. This is where we're going with this. So, how was your trip?
My trip was okay. It was stressful. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I live in Toronto at the moment because I am a student at an art school. It's very fun. But my parents don't live there. So I have flown home for the holidays. And it is still in Canada. I'm in Alberta now. And I was texting Brad actually the day that I flew out. And I went from, it ended up being, because I flew out, there was an hour delay on the flight. So I was supposed to fly out at 10, but ended up flying at 11. And the little screen, you know how you have the little TV screens on the chair in front of you in that plane? That was saying before we took off that it was 22 degrees in Mississauga, where the airport is. And by the time I landed here in Alberta, it was negative 22 degrees Celsius. So, I went 44 degrees.
So not only did you time travel,
but
you temperature traveled.
I did, yeah. So I texted my parents and I was like, hey, when you come pick me up, can you bring a hoodie and my real coat? Because this jacket is not going to do shit.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So,
dear God, that's cold.
Yeah. It's also so much drier out here because it's so cold, but like the moisture in the air freezes, which is why I have a sore throat. Don't worry, I'm not sick or anything. It's just that I went from a very humid place right above Lake Ontario, one of the Great Lakes. So very humid, lots of weather kind of thing happening. And then come here and it's unbelievably dry. Like I'm applying lip salve, lip chap like 3 times an hour, it seems like. And constantly drinking, having to like sit in front of steamers to try and like get some moisture in my body. Because, oh my God, it's so dry.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of a change.
Just a tad. So yeah, that was my trip. I'm still adjusting. Also, my sound quality is going to sound different because I'm on my laptop and my very old microphone, my first streaming microphone. So things are going to sound a little bit different on my end.
Yeah, Blue is remembering what it's like to come from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
But we've all been there. Mm-hmm. So I went through recently and was deleting a bunch of old Twitch clips.
Yeah.
Because whenever I pop into some of my friends' streams, they have those shout outs that they'll do, and it'll play random saved clips from your Twitch.
Okay, yeah.
And those were popping up, and I was like, oh God, no, why? Why are these still there? And there were some that played from back whenever I streamed on the PS4.
Oh, wow.
With a cheap PS4 headset, so I was stuck with that sound quality, and I was like, oh God, no. Why am I being reminded of this? I don't need this in my life. Why?
Yeah, get rid of this.
Yeah. So I went through and cleaned out a bunch of those and just kept all of the ones that I deemed funny and or worthy of being saved.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah.
But what about you? How are things with you and the girlfriend? You sent me lots of pictures of you and the girlfriend doing Christmassy things.
Yeah, so you got to see that. We went and looked at Christmas lights last night.
Very cute.
So that was fun. They had an entire subdivision just completely decked out. And whenever I say decked out, I mean decked out.
Mm-hmm.
And just Christmas lights, inflatables, all that fun stuff. So we went up and looked at that, and then she came to church with me this morning. We went to have lunch, and then I went and dropped her back off at her vehicle so I could go and buy her final gift.
Did you get a good one?
Yes. So what I was initially going to get her, because she's a big Harry Potter fan,
Mm-hmm.
was I was going to get her the first illustrated edition of Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
But they came out with a different version that has some like pop-up cardboard cutouts that are super pretty.
Ooh.
Not only that, but get this, they're cheaper but it looks so much nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Like the actual hardcover itself is super fancy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, how the hell is this cheaper, but it's better? I don't get it. But I was like, I'm there for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got her that, and also it's great because it makes for a running gift because I just got her the Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay.
So for her birthday, I can get her the Chamber of Secrets, and then so on and so forth as they become available.
Nice. Yeah.
So big brain.
I had to translate that in my head for a second. I was like, that's
Yeah,
not one.
I meant to say the Philosopher's Stone, but
Yeah.
we out here, we game.
Yeah, that's one of those bizarre ones where a marketing team said, no, Americans are too dumb. They don't know what a philosopher is.
Nah.
I'm like, okay, sure. I didn't know what a philosopher was when I read the Philosopher's Stone, but I figured it out. It's part of learning.
What is learning? I'm an American. We don't learn.
We don't learn.
We shoot guns and drink beer.
Shoot guns and drink beer.
Maybe it's just a southern thing. I don't know.
No, I can assure you, Montana. Who are the people that live in Montana? Montanians?
Just people from Montana, anyway.
Those from Montana do the same. They're directly below me right now.
Oh, okay. Sick.
Most of Alberta does the same as well, to be honest. Like, Alberta and Montana are pretty much the same state/province.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. What else? Baked some cookies.
Oh, have you made any bread since you've been back yet?
I haven't made bread. I need to bake a Victoria sponge as well, because my parents keep sending me pictures of cakes while I'm in Toronto that haven't risen or have sunk, because for some reason they can't cook cakes in this country. I think it has something to do with the elevation. Like, they're just used to the humidity and the fact that they're on sea level, and right now we're like hundreds of miles above sea level or whatever. I don't know. I'm near the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And neither my mum nor my dad can get a cake to rise in this country. And apparently it's like a thing. Like, British people across the board have troubles making cakes rise in Canada. I was like, I didn't know this. But yeah. So I'm the cake baker in the house. My mum does a lot of pastry. My mum's good with pastry. Which is funny because I have cold hands and my mum has warm hands. So you think that she would do the bread and I would do the pastry. But it's the other way around.
I don't know how to do either of it.
Yeah, but you can do meat.
I say that. I've made fancy cakes. I can do meat. I think I'm going to end up smoking a Christmas ham for everyone for Christmas. So that might be a thing. Also, happy holidays, since this is going to be the last episode to go out before Christmas. So,
yeah,
just whatever you celebrate, enjoy, have fun.
Yeah. Solstice is coming up in 2 days?
Yeah, and then there's Boxing Day, where people just get out and throw hands.
Yeah, sure, we could consider it that way. Yeah.
Then New Year's, that's a thing to celebrate.
The New Year's, yeah. And then we have, is Hanukkah already over? I don't know anything about Hanukkah, to be honest.
I don't know anything about it either. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's earlier, but I don't know when the cutoff is.
People that celebrate Hanukkah, tell us about it.
Yes, and I hope you had
nothing.
a good one / are having a good one.
Yeah.
And even those who don't celebrate, I hope that you're having a good wintry season and having lots of hot chocolates and warm snuggly things, because it's cold out, or at least where I am, it's cold out.
And enjoy your days off of work.
Yeah.
But there's one good thing that comes from Christmas. Days off.
Yes, true. Also, soon we'll have less, the darkness will be over, and I'm always, this is I think that's probably one of the hardest things, is just that it gets so darn dark so early that you're done by 4 p.m.
Not only that, but seasonal depression is a bitch.
Big thing, yeah. So take care of yourselves, guys. Self-care.
Yeah, take care of your mental health. Look after the homies if you know they deal with shit like that.
Yeah, and don't beat yourself up for having a day in bed, Don't feel good about it.
Days in bed are good.
They are good.
They're necessary. I feel like I need that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But that's about all I got.
That's about all I got. Oh, I went to a couple of antique shops.
Oh, super fancy.
Yeah, well, because you know how in big cities, the secondhand shops, the antique shops, all that kind of stuff, they're very picked through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to find those oh, I just found like a Wedgwood plate for 25 cents, you know, like you can't get the deals because there's already people there that know about stuff and so have already done the appraisals and they've already priced things correctly, and you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot harder to find really good deals when you're in a big city. But
Yeah.
out here in Alberta, there's so much. There's just like, and like also just things that like handcrafted blankets that were just made by someone's nan and then put in a secondhand shop, and you can buy it for like $2. I was going to say £2 then. I haven't used pounds in years. And you can buy it for like $2. But if you go on Etsy, it would be like $75 for a handcrafted blanket. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So every time when I'm in Alberta, and I love to go thrifting. It's one of the things I did before I left, and now I come back, I'm doing it all over again. And my parents have discovered a new couple, like antique-y, but still very much thrift stores in a small town about 20 minutes away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went there and looked through, and it's the kind of thing where you see like section of the store is old tools, and then a section of the store is like washboards and tin buckets, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then a section of the store is like VHS tapes. And then you go further in, and then there's like one random section that's just like Cabbage Patch dolls. And then you go in further, and it just keeps going. You're going, how big is this store? Because it's like the TARDIS. You go and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you go in, and then there's
growing and growing and growing.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's a downstairs, and there's just furniture, just like old, you know, like not like hammered together furniture, like carved together furniture with the like what are those like hash, like the two little triangle bits where it's like a drawer and the two triangle bits like slot into, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like good quality furniture. And then there's like old mirrors that have like the deterioration around the edges, and then rocking chairs that are way too low to the ground to be comfortable, but I assume they are for someone's nan who's like 4'2". And then and then you just keep going, and it's more and more and more, and then there's a wall of license plates, because there always is, and then bottles, Coke bottles that are empty, and cans of like old Pepsi cans. You're like, why did you save this? What's the importance of an old Pepsi can? I don't know, but it's there. It's empty, somebody drank it, but it's there. And you just keep going, and there's more and more and more. And it's one of those things I really miss about living in the country. It's just like these small little places that you go to and you just discover shit.
You just find all of the shit.
Yeah. It also spikes, I'm going to say it spikes my OCD. I don't have OCD. It spikes my perfectionist personality, I guess, because like, or maybe my ADHD, because I'll see like a teacup and I'm like, there was another teacup of that same set in another section, and then I go further and there's 2 more teacups of that set, and I'm like, you have a full set here, a full set of 4 teacups. You just don't have them together.
So you should have moved them.
I know, right?
You should have just moved them all together.
Yeah, and just put them all together and be like, you have a set. Anyway.
Or maybe they just expect people to hunt and find the set.
Maybe
you get a prize if you complete the full set, especially if you found like the kettle and the plates.
Honestly, yeah.
You get a coupon.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the kind of store as well where they had a black lab that was just like roaming free, no collar, just hanging out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, one of those kinds of stores. It was a really good time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That's my story of the day. Anyways.
Outside is being very loud, as per usual.
I can hear it, yeah.
Perks of recording, like midday.
Yeah.
But all right, so Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer.
So, question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch anything past the Mugen Train arc? Like, did you watch any of the Entertainment District arc so far?
No, I haven't. That is still
Mate.
new. I know. I was going to, literally right before you messaged me, because I didn't know how long you were going to take to get back. So I was like, okay, well, I might as well just start the next one. And literally as I was about to press play, you were like, ding. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
Oh, my goodness. Because I wanted to get your take on that OP.
Yeah, I will listen to it and we will record. Well, we're going to do that. We're going to fully cover that. So don't worry, guys.
Yeah,
We're going to fully
we'll cover
that
that.
in the new year.
I think there's 11 episodes. We'll get through 4 through December. We'll get into that by the end of March or like mid-March.
Yeah, when it's complete.
Because oh my God, I love that OP so much. Now, don't get me wrong. The section that we're covering today, the OP and ED are just tasteful. They're great. They're fantastic. Ufotable does a great job. By the way, Ufotable did this arc, of course. I mean, I don't know what else would have been assumed from that, but hey, Ufotable.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Haruo Sotozaki. Same director that's been there the whole time. So, we're having a great time. Nothing has changed. But a lot about the film has changed. Well, not a lot. It's very subtle things, except for the first episode, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
So this arc takes place between volume 7 and 8 of the manga. And then that's pretty much all I got from the thing. Yeah,
so genres are still consistently, obviously, action and supernatural, as they have been throughout the entire series.
Also shonen.
Also shonen. Themes, demons, and historical, according to my anime list. You said it was
also
7
Michael
episodes,
Jackson.
Yeah? Also Michael Jackson.
So 7 episodes up to this point. Season 2 is going to have a grand total of 18, with the Entertainment District arc taking place across 11. But the Mugen Train arc specifically was 7, with one brand new, never before seen bit added to it.
Yes.
So if you have seen Mugen Train, the film, but have not watched the arc yet, highly recommend watching that first episode.
The first episode is the big difference. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Watch that. And it gives so much more emotion to one specific character and a lot more like reasoning as to why the film started the way it did. And it also has a joke in there that you only really get if you watch the film. The ending of the first episode is pretty funny. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch, especially if you've seen the film. Well, I mean, if you haven't seen the film, then you're going to want to watch it anyway. But yeah, recommend.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the film, then you're in for a treat because you get to care a whole lot more about a character.
Yeah, I would recommend skipping the film and watching the series because on Crunchyroll it has the film first and then it has the series. So if you're on Crunchyroll, you've only watched the first season, skip the film, watch this.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I've seen a lot of people bitching and moaning about them redoing the film for the show. And to that I say, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Fuck off.
Yeah, and I actually think that it was a good thing. We're going to get into more of that why once we've got our spoiler chicken hats on. But I do think that it just breaks things down and allows people to revisit things, especially considering that the way that it ends is so impactful to the entirety of the series that you kind of need that recap.
100%.
Anyway, more background information. It is an R or 17+, which I believe has been consistent across the board that it has been R17+. I don't think, anything has been any different than that. It is a 4.43 out of 5 on Anime Planet, or a 8.86 out of 10 by fan rating, and then it is an 8.33 out of 10 on my anime list. So pretty much an 8.5 between the two, which is pretty low for Demon Slayer, but I think that is because of what you said of it being a recap.
And not only that, but there's been a lot of fan backlash due to it being a recap. But on the same notes as well, apparently the numbers for that section were down because of the recap. Again, to which I can say we're in the middle of a pandemic. So the reason they're doing it is solely to bring people, in to be able to watch it. And also it's a money grab because Demon Slayer is pretty much the hottest anime going.
Yeah, I'm still seeing...
I get why they did it.
Yeah, I'm still seeing a fairly high number of people that have rated it on my anime list, but not very many people have rated it on Anime Planet. For Demon Slayer, I'm expecting like 40, 50,000 at least people rating it on Anime Planet, and I'm only at 4,000. So it's very like lowly rated, and sometimes that just happens because it's fairly new out. So I'm going to give it a benefit of the doubt. But on my enemy list, it's had over 200,000 members rate it already. So I don't necessarily think it's entirely that. I think it's just that a lot of people haven't been rating it because they haven't been watching it because they know it's a recap. But if you are one of those people, watch the first episode at least. Even if you don't watch the rest of it, watch that first episode because it is more information.
Oh, 100%. And it's so beautifully done.
Yeah. Yeah. And that being said, the dropped rate is a 2.67%, which is high for both Demon Slayer and the fact that this is the second season. So what I've seen with our drop rates, for those who don't know, I'm just going through all of this again because, like I said, we tend to get new people watching Demon Slayer episodes. We just do. So welcome if you're new. But the drop rate, what I do is I go onto Anime Planet specifically because it has a breakdown of who watches, who is watching, who wants to watch, and who has dropped, and you can see the numbers specifically on there. I haven't found another site that has that same breakdown, so I've been using this site specifically. And I take the watched and I take the dropped and I add them together, and then I divide the dropped by the added together to get the percentage of how many people have dropped versus how many people have watched. I don't include watching or want to watch because Want to Watch hasn't obviously watched it yet, and watching hasn't made a final decision as to whether or not they're going to drop it or they're going to watch it to the end. So I only use watched and dropped. Consistently across the board, second seasons do better. They have a better drop rate percentage than first seasons because the people who choose to watch the second season have obviously already watched the first season and enjoyed it. So they know that they like the content. So we're filtering out those people who are like, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I'm going to give it a go. I didn't like it. So consistently across the board, second season has better drop rate. Demon Slayer is one of those ones that has a really, really, really good drop rate from the first season. The film had a really good drop rate. Everything has a really good drop rate. Films tend to have really low drop rates because people don't tend to leave films halfway through. But this has a pretty high. I would consider 2.67 for a second season very high for Demon Slayer. For another show, that's probably a pretty good drop rate. For Demon Slayer, I'm considering that high. What do you think?
Considering it's still ongoing, I think it's definitely one of those that I can give it a pass, especially considering the first arc being a recap. So I feel like a lot of people may have left it alone until the Entertainment District arc either gets a little bit further along.
Well, funnily enough, Anime Planet has separated them, I think. The Mugen Train arc is different than... I'm just going to double check that. But I think the two arcs are actually being categorized in separate... What did you say the arc was called? The second arc?
The Entertainment District arc?
Okay. Yeah, they're separate. They're being categorized separately.
Then I would just assume because it's a recap. Because as we've seen throughout watching on Crunchy and being able to see the comments, people do not like recap episodes at all.
Here's something that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So for Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train arc, we have 4,609 people have watched it. 4,161 people are watching it. So about 8,800, I'm going to say. And then 8,000, let's say 8,900 people. I'm going to round it up to 9,000 people are watching or have watched the Mugen Train arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Entertainment District is already at nearly 5,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to get the numbers that the first one didn't get. So more people are just completely skipped it. They've heard that it's a recap,
mm-hmm.
and they just have completely skipped it. So if you're one of those people, please just watch the first episode.
Yeah, go give that a watch.
Yeah.
But also, according to our math, if you count the people that still have it selected as currently watching, because they may not realize that it's been whatever my brain is trying to say, that they've separated it.
Yeah.
Then that puts the drop rate at about 1.1%, which is not that high.
No, that's a better drop
so
rate.
That's the one caveat that I would give to that is maybe people didn't realize that it's been separated, so they haven't went back in and updated it yet.
Yeah. So this
because today is also episode 3 of the Entertainment District arc.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those ones that I think is going to be super interesting to revisit. So in March, when we go and cover the entertainment district, we'll have to go back and check to see what happened with the Mugen Train arc and to see how those numbers changed and the drop rate has changed, because I feel like it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that changes over time.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Also,
Yeah.
I just ran across a news article on Anime News Network. So the ratings are in for the Entertainment District arc, and it is pretty much outperforming almost everything from an animation perspective in Japan. So the numbers are already rising due to the Entertainment District arc kicking off. So it's a good sign of things to come. So just goes to show, a lot of people don't like recaps, but this recap, oh, so good.
Yeah, I think the recap, at least the first episode, is definitely worth watching.
Mm-hmm.
And if you enjoyed the film, you're going to enjoy the rest of the season as well. It's just like watching the film again, but this time a little bit different. I know. It's like, I don't know. If you enjoyed it, just watch it.
Yeah, give it a watch. Seriously, it's worth it. It's worth your time.
And I'm normally one of those people that hates recap episodes. So
I made you sit through a whole arc.
You did, but
you're welcome.
What show is it that we watched that was 12 episodes and it was one core and had a recap episode?
Oh God, what was it that we thought was shitty? What's the last thing that we thought was shit? Well, we might have not have thought it was shit. For some reason, my brain is saying
my brain says that we rated it really badly as well. I don't remember though. Was it a sports anime? It probably was.
Was it Wonder Egg?
Was it? Maybe.
I think it was Wonder Egg. But I feel like a lot of that had to do with one episode smack dab in the middle was a fucking recap episode. Also, they blew that ending.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Wonder Egg.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Cool, yeah.
Fucking clever works.
And last bit of background information that I wanted to talk about. We have, actually, I don't know if we spoke about this on the episode or if it was just Brad and I talking before we started recording, but the OP and ED. So Lisa did both.
Yep.
OP is called Akeboshi, and ED is Shirogane. So Brad has a lot to say. I'm going to give the floor to you.
So, as we all know, your boy, huge Lisa fan.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of the best artists, in my opinion, of all time, period. Definitely one of the biggest, like, world-renowned artists, especially due to Demon Slayer.
Sorry, I know you're talking, but like I just found this comment. Okay, so I'm on my anime list, and I just scrolled down to underneath where it says OP and ED, right? And this comment is so fucking funny. Okay, so it says, wow, our show is one of the most popular animes ever and has outgrown Spirited Away. How are we going to capitalize on this momentum when approaching season 2? How about we just recap the movie for 2 months? LMAO. Sounds stupid, I know, but it's actually brilliant. This cash cow isn't some saggy old beast. She's a sexy, fertile young babe with enough milk to go around. And if you think Aniplex isn't going to milk this bitch for all she's worth, you got another thing coming.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, so...
but also, how do you take something and make it better?
Yeah.
You not only give us Lisa, but you give us Lisa twice.
Yeah.
Actually, 3 times.
Yeah.
Because episode 7 ends with Homura, so we get Lisa 3 times.
Yeah.
This is like my dream.
Yeah, I think that... I don't know, I think that the music, the sound throughout this anime is actually done really, really well consistently across the board.
Yeah, the OST is actually fantastic. The OPs and EDs are absolutely phenomenal and suit the show extremely well. Mm-hmm. But also, can we talk about the animation on the OP for a minute? I've never seen something so beautifully linked to the song in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those cuts were perfectly done. The lighting, the shading, everything was just done in a beautiful way. Seeing, spoiler alert, Rengoku and Akaza fight, it's so good. The OP even made it look amazing. The ED, just seeing the sword effects and like those super neon-y sections were great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that doggos?
It is the doggos.
Doggos.
It's Cedar. So I have 2 golden retrievers. Cedar is 12. She's nearly 13. And Tilly, who is 2, Miss Bean. She is the
I love Bean.
Yeah, she's the podcast mascot. So if you see any pups on any of our podcast logos, that's why it's Bean.
Yeah.
But Theta is deaf and blind and deteriorating fairly rapidly, unfortunately. But she was a runt and she had thyroid issues, and we rescued her, and the whole shebang. But recently, she has just started barking for like no reason, like just happy barks, like just like I want attention barks. But she'll just we'll just be like washing the dishes, and she'll just come up to us and just start barking. It's just like, yes, we're here. Hello, we're here to give pets, and she'll just bark. And so we've been having like bark wars where she'll bark and I'll bark back, because apparently the rest of my family doesn't do that, so I'm strange. But yeah, and so that was her. She was just barking. If you hear her in the background of the podcast, it's our old girl. She does that now. She just barks for fun.
I love it. That's adorable.
Yeah.
I just love animals.
Me too. I love animals too.
Even the girlfriend's cat was just being super sweet.
I love cats, but I'm so allergic.
Yeah. Tree's the same way. Tree is deathly allergic to cats, but he loves them.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally her cat no like people. But last night, whenever we walked in after going to see the Christmas lights, just immediately popped up on the couch and started meowing at us to pet. That's the first time I've ever seen Willow be that way.
Oh, Janessa.
So I was like, get to pet the cat. Oh, Janessa.
She has taught her cats to play fetch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I really want to get to teach the cats to use the buttons that you see on TikTok. Just because I really want to see a cat legitimately be trained that way.
Cats are very smart. Yeah.
They are incredibly intelligent, especially when prompted with treats.
Yeah, they have to get something out of it. A dog will do it just for like affection. A cat has to have something.
Yeah, they need treats. But also just the fact that they can learn to be able to do something like that. I want to see it.
Yeah. It's like those cats that know how to use a toilet.
Very strange, but also very smart to train a cat that way.
Yeah.
Also, we screwed up. I had news.
Oh, yeah. We just skipped right over news.
Yeah, it's because we were so excited to talk about Demon Slayer.
We were.
Demon Slayer is our cash cow of this podcast.
Honestly.
I feel like we've talked about it more than literally anything else.
Haikyuu is nearly getting up there, I think.
Yeah. I think it's because we keep talking about we're going to do Haikyuu and then we don't.
I know, that's true. We need to.
But season 5 has been confirmed of Haikyuu, so there's something.
Yes, I hope they see. This is where I need a recap episode of Haikyuu, because the animation in season 4 took a COVID dip, and I get it.
Well, it didn't take a COVID dip. It went to a new director.
Okay.
And the director worked for Ghibli.
But what happened? Okay, fair enough.
So, new director, maybe a new studio. I can't remember, but you know what we should do? We should watch the film.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if the animation style changed for the film or not, but since the show itself got a new director and the director had actually worked for Ghibli, I feel like that is primarily what happened, because we've seen in the past from studios, if they get a new director, then the director gets to dictate the art style, and Haikyuu season 4's animation is very Ghibli-esque.
Yeah, but I just remember there being like 2 episodes in the middle of season 4 that just looked like they were drawn by a 7-year-old, and I don't know if I'm making that up. It might have been a fever dream, but...
Well, you brought that up to me, and I haven't been able to see it yet.
Okay, because...
So,
yeah.
I need to get to that point.
Yeah, let me know if I'm making that up, because I really think that that's a thing, that it just all of a sudden... You remember that baseball anime, that girls' baseball anime?
Yes.
It went like that. I mean, I don't think it was quite that bad, but it went... All of a sudden, it was like, fine. What the fuck happened?
Well, the baseball anime was very consistent until it got to animating motions, and then it's just full CGI.
Yeah.
And that was consistent. It was consistently good until it was shit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, what was that?
I could be like, good, shit, good, shit, good, shit. It's one of those type of things.
Tamayomi, right?
Yeah. But then you also have Dead Man Wonderland, where it was good all the way until those last 3 episodes, and then it was shit.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't know what I'm assuming it was just they went into lockdown and they had to get episodes out, and they had 2 animators to make an entire episode. That's what I'm giving them credit for.
I can believe it.
But because it was right around that time when everything shit fan hit. I don't know where I was going with that. When shit hit the fan.
Whenever shit fan hit,
Yeah. So I remember that being a thing, but I need to rewatch it because it's been a little while. But if that is accurate, I hope they go back and reanimate those episodes.
Hopefully so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so quick news. Rapid fire so we can get into Demon Slayer.
Yes.
Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2 has officially been slated to air for summer of 2022. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Just got to get to July.
Mm-hmm.
And July will be here before we know it because it's almost fucking Christmas. My God.
I know. I can't believe how quickly this has gone.
Then Makoto Shinkai's next film has been officially announced. We knew that it was kind of in the works, but we didn't know any information. We got a key visual. We found out that it is going to be a post-apocalyptic love story.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been titled Suzume no Tajimari.
Mm-hmm.
And has been set to premiere in fall of 2022, which means for those of us in North America, we'll get it probably in December or January of 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
Then season 2 of Tonikawa has officially been announced and has been slated to be coming to Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
And Overlord season 4 has officially been slated to release in 2022 as well.
Fun.
Also, Bleach got its new trailer for the 1,000-Year Blood Arc.
Yeah.
And has been set to release in October of 2022. And Dr. Stone season 3 has been set to release in 2023.
Okay, that's a long ways away, but I'm excited.
Yeah. So I would say that's probably going to be in spring. So like April of 2023, if I had to take a guess, because that's kind of shonen.
Yeah.
Typically, shonen is very spring and fall.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because they want to get you up and running outside and shit. It's like sports animes. They have to happen in time when you can go outside.
Or it's like, fuck school. We need your attention.
Yes. Yeah, that too. Yeah. But yeah, okay, so shall we put on those spoiler chicken hats?
Yeah, chicken hats. Put them on because
Yeah.
it's time. We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Very specifically, Rengoku.
Yes, so spoilers from here on out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. First episode. This is I honestly, when I went into this, I was not expecting anything new. I was what I was expecting to be.
I told you to expect the first episode to be all Rengoku.
I don't listen to you.
I've noticed.
No, like I think I don't know. I what I was expecting when you said that was like, you know how it's like normally when you get this kind of stuff, it's kind of trickled in. If you get any new content, it's like an extra couple of lines here or like a half a scene here. You know what I mean? It's not like a chunk of new content right off the bat. So that was
not only that, but you probably could have believed that I was overselling what we got.
Yeah,
because I do have a tendency to do shit like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Exaggerates? Never.
That's my entire personality. You think I'm this upbeat in real life? God, no.
Yeah. So the first episode was a really, really nice surprise. So we start off with a little girl and her grandma selling some bentos.
Those bentos look delicious.
They did look really fucking good.
And Rengoku made them look delicious.
Oh my!
Or, for the English version, because God, it frustrates me so much, tasty.
Tasty.
Have you seen those clips from the dub?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my goodness. It's one of those things. They should have at least let the dub actor say, umai. That would have pleased me so much more than tasty.
Well, yeah, or just like, yum. Fucking good.
Yeah,
shit.
Just something. Go make it overly dramatic. Change it up.
Yeah.
Make it hilarious.
Well, because
like those of us that watch Mugen Train in theaters.
Yeah.
I've lost my shit over that. The entire theater lost their shit.
Yeah.
Over that.
Yeah.
So
I think it's one of those things that like umai is a word that is, as far as I'm aware, haven't been to Japan. Was supposed to have gone in 2020, but 2020 happened. Umai, I feel like, is used in casual conversation. Like, it's like, umai, Where tasty, I don't think is really used in English in casual conversation.
Not really.
Like
at least not in the South. We typically will say something is good, great, or delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't, as an English person, I haven't heard it here in Canada. The only time I would use tasty would be like, oh yeah, it was really, yeah, it would be like kind of in retrospect. Oh yeah, that was pretty tasty. You know,
Mhm.
I don't think I would use it as
Yeah, it's
like,
typically used in like a past tense
yeah,
if anyone's ever going to use it.
yeah. I'm not sure that I would, because I'd never be like, that sounds tasty. That's weird, and I'd never be like, this is really tasty.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would be like, yeah, that was pretty tasty. That's the only time that I would use it.
But funnily enough, I don't know if it's Food Wars, I don't know if it's Demon Slayer or what it is, but anytime I try something good now, like my brain just immediately goes, "Oh my."
Oh my, yeah.
And that's just instead of my brain going, "Oh, this is really good."
Oishi.
It's just what's one word
Yeah,
that can just get everything across that you want to get across.
yeah,
And it works.
yeah. It's
Japanese is a fantastic language of getting everything across in
it's a very
as
efficient language.
straightforward. Yeah, it's very straightforward. It's
Yeah.
a bitch to learn, but it's so straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, tasty, that's really funny. Tasty. Cuz yeah.
But yeah, grandma and grandkid are selling some bentos, and then Demon shows up.
Mhm.
And then Demon runs off. Rengoku shows up, and he's like, "Oh, hey, this is a thing." And then he goes off to actually look at the train, and this is where he meets the Demon.
Mhm.
And Demon tries to attack the working facility, but Rengoku's like, not today. So Demon runs off, and apparently this Demon's thing is supposed to be super speed.
Yeah, he's trying to be Sonic.
No. Yeah, he's really trying to be Sonic, but
Mhm.
Rengoku's like, no, Flame Spiral just goes straight after him.
Yeah.
So Demon tries to kidnap, was it grandma or the kid? I can't remember.
Well, he runs off down the train tracks and then goes into the building, and the grandma like throws a bento box at it. So the demon has grandma has demon's attention, tells the little girl to run. So she runs out and she lands on the train tracks. And then we don't know what happened to grandma, and demon runs out and starts choking the little girl.
And then Rengoku shows up, decapitates said demon. And then as Rengoku goes to sheath his stuff, grandma sees all of this happen, and you get a very beautiful cut of Rengoku and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have the exact same sword fighting style, the exact same like sheathing and unsheathing.
Yeah.
And it plays them back to back, like flipping between the scenes of black and white and then the colored version of Rengoku, and grandma's reliving her vision of her being saved by Rengoku's dad.
Yeah. 20 years before, when she was a mom, and it was the child that was with her was her daughter and therefore her grandchild's mom.
Did you get a little teary over that? I kind of had some tears swell up over that. I'm not going to lie.
A train. Can you hear that?
I cannot.
1 second. No, I think it's too quiet to pick up.
I think if you had your Yeti, it would pick it up because the Yetis are sensitive bitches, but the snowballs, not so much.
Not so much, no. Yeah, that's another thing. Freight trains exist, and I forgot about that when I lived in the city, but now I remember.
Haha, choo-choo, bitches.
Choo-choo, bitches. It must be, what, 3 p.m.? 1 p.m. 3 p.m. Toronto
3 for me, 1 for you.
Because I know one goes by my house when I would walk home from middle school back in the day.
Mm. Back in the day.
Yeah, so it was like 3:30. Yeah, probably about 3:30 is when another train should go by. But it's also a weekend, so maybe it's different. I don't know. Anyways.
But yeah, I got a little teary.
Yeah,
over that.
I don't know if I didn't get teary, but I definitely did feel a lot of emotion towards it, because it just gives you more context on Rengoku, and especially if you've seen the film before this episode, you know how the season is going to end. You know how this arc is going to end, and it's kind of like bittersweet while watching it, because you know that we've already put spoiler chicken hats on, but I'm gonna just reaffirm that I'm gonna be talking about spoilers here, because this is a big one. But you know that you're not going to get any more content from him, that this is it, you know? But that moment leaves you wanting more content from him. He is such a good character, and that is such a powerful, impactful scene. He is so intense and entertaining to watch. He's just a really entertaining character. And then you all of a sudden get this. I mean, you already had this like emotional connection to him from the part of his mom at the end of the film, and therefore at the end of this season as well, of this arc. You get the connection with him and his mom. But the relationship that he has with his dad up until this point is very rocky. And having that moment of the two of them being compared and knowing how he feels about his family and his final words to his dad effectively, this moment means so much more. So it's the kind of thing where it's like, even if you didn't watch the film and you watched the series, that you watched the arc, go back and watch the first episode again, because it changes everything.
Mm-hmm. So I can't remember, does episode 7, does Tanjiro go visit Rengoku's dad and brother?
No, that's true.
Oh, so you don't
see that. So if you haven't seen the film, go watch the end of the film, because you get more.
Does the film go over that as well?
It does. I swear it does. Because I remember it and I haven't seen.
I swear that whole interaction takes place in episode 8 or the first episode of the Entertainment District arc. Unless it's I don't think you get the full breakdown of it.
I'm on Crunchyroll right now. I'm going to go to the film and just see at the end, because I swear it did. After the credits, is it? Oh no, wait, maybe I made it up, because I swore I saw that. Because now I'm not seeing it.
I know in episode 8, Tanjiro goes and visits Rengoku's dad and brother, and you get that entire interaction.
I swore I saw that in the film, but I'm not seeing it here on Crunchyroll, so unless they cut it for the Crunchyroll upload.
I think they know, because whenever you see them in episode 8, like, you can tell they've already grieved over it and whatnot, and then Tanjiro shows up to actually talk to them about it and try to figure out more about the Hinokami Kagura.
Mm.
But I don't remember if they actually presented it or they got the fully. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing it in the Crunchyroll depiction of the film, but I clearly remember that happening. And I haven't seen the Entertainment District arc.
But for me, having read the manga,
yeah,
I feel like the reason I got so teary-eyed over that is knowing how big of a dick Rengoku's dad is.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was one of those things that got me, whatever the hell I'm trying to think of.
Emotional.
That got me feeling some sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
What really got me feeling some sort of way was episode 7, because my God, I didn't want to have to relive that.
Yeah, it's episode 7. So basically, okay, so we'll go through the basic premise of everything. I don't think we're going to go too far into detail, because like we said, we have covered the film, and this is a recap of the film. So if you're interested,
everything from here going forward is very much the same.
Yeah.
There are little animation cuts here or there that are slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Very specifically, the dream world that the characters are in. The dreams are the same,
mm-hmm.
but Tanjiro's dream was, or at least his subconscious that the tuberculosis kid goes into,
mm-hmm.
that was different.
Mm-hmm.
More specifically, what happens whenever Tanjiro's dream ends, whenever he cuts his neck
mm-hmm.
in the dream, was that, did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
That was some of the most beautiful animation I think I've ever seen. The way that hole opens up and the way the water just pours out
mm-hmm.
and the way that he's falling, that was top notch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, that was fantastic. I loved every bit of that.
Yeah.
But everything else is pretty much the same. Episode 7 is almost shot by shot the same.
Yes.
Some of the frames are different, but the story is very much the same. There are just some things that are very different. The music, I feel like, suits the show better.
Yeah.
Than the film. The film kind of, if you compare the two side by side, the music in the film is a little bit choppy
mm-hmm.
compared to the show. I feel like they did the music for the show a bit better
mm-hmm.
to where, from a complete overall standpoint, I could rate the show higher than I did the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I would rate personally the show higher than the film as well. I think the first episode really makes a huge difference. To me, it feels like it sets you up emotionally for the ending better than not having that background in the film.
One thing I will say, though, I feel like they should have included episode 8 with
this arc.
Yes. Although episode 8 is an hour long, or would be for TV time, for us, I think it's like 47 minutes or so on Crunchyroll. I feel like it suited the end of the arc because you kind of get closure with the Rengoku stuff with Tanjiro going to visit that, and also you get reintroduced to Uzui or the Sound Hashira.
Yeah, I kind of think that it would be, I mean, I know, like, I wouldn't consider it to be like an OVA, but like a bonus episode, like, because you know how like OVAs, people, you don't have to watch them and they still make sense to the plot, you know? But I feel like if it was kind of like, so when did this end? This ended in what, October? That's when it stopped?
No, it started in October.
Oh, ended in November.
So December 10th is when episode 8 aired. So December 3rd is when the Mugen Train arc ended.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like it kind of sits in between the two because it's very much a transition episode. And I like ending on a really big, impactful moment like it did with the end of the 7 episodes. But I agree with you in the sense that like it does give closure to that as well. So I guess it's personal preference on that standpoint as to whether or not you like to end on an intense moment or if you like to end with things more wrapped up nicely. I feel like if there was a bigger gap between Arc 1 and Arc 2, I could definitely see why it would be necessary to not include that episode because cliffhangers or impactful moments are what gets people to continue watching after there has been a big gap. So in that sense, I understand why they ended it on episode 7, but because there was such a short time period between the first and second arc, I don't really see how it's entirely necessary to not include it into the first arc as well.
I will say I'm very much an oddball whenever it comes to things and having to see how they play out. I am jealous of the people that will get to binge the entire season and especially the Entertainment District arc, because even though I binged the entire manga as soon as I finished season 1, so I literally got to see everything from start to finish, but I'm jealous of the people that will get to watch season 2 from start to finish and get that easy transition over from the end of Mugen Train into the Entertainment District arc.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch this week to week because I'm so excited for everything that's going to happen and the way that this arc is going to end. Oh boy, I'm excited. I'm ready to watch the world burn, essentially, because of how, if it ends how I think it's going to end, it's going to be one hell of a cliffhanger and people are going to be pissed. So I'm excited. But with that being said, I'm jealous of those people, but I can't be one of those people.
Yeah.
Because I got to see how everything goes week to week. Demon Slayer is definitely one of those shows that I must watch week to week. And then I'll binge it all again whenever we cover it for the podcast. Because, yeah, that's the thing. Also, we've started a new tradition with the friend group to where every Sunday at 6 p.m. we watch the new episode of Demon Slayer and then we watch an anime movie. So today, whenever this episode goes live, and also the day that we're recording this, because, we wait till the last minute, we're going to be watching episode 3 or 4. I think it's episode 3 of Demon Slayer. And then we're watching Weathering with You.
Oh, okay.
So I'm excited because Tree and a couple of our other friends haven't seen Weathering with You.
Okay.
So they're gonna get to watch it for the first time, and I get to watch it again because it's such a good film.
It is.
And we watched Your Name last week, so I'm excited to see if they're gonna notice Taki and Mitsuha in the film.
Yeah. Just
because little Easter eggs.
Just sad.
Yeah, but so good and so pretty. It's so fucking pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, back to Demon Slayer. Everything is pretty much the same. You see our three trio of boys get introduced to Rengoku. Tanjiro talks to Rengoku about the Hinokami Kagura, to which Rengoku's like, the fuck is that? But if you want to learn flame breathing, I'll gladly teach you.
Yeah, it was, I hate that it's like, I will, become my apprentice. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to die.
But it's such a Rengoku, like, just his personality, I feel like, shone through so much more after getting that first episode.
Honestly, yeah. The first
like,
episode
everything
did so
just
much.
felt more just Rengoku, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it gave context to the large amount of bentos that he was eating in the first episode at the beginning of the movie.
Also, can we talk about how powerful this man's voice is to where he sends all the bentos shooting up into the air and then they fall beautifully and neatly stacked up beside him?
Right, yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It really does. It's the kind of thing where I feel like in the movie, if you didn't have any relation to him, like you didn't know him, you didn't know his context, you didn't know his backstory, you didn't know anything about him, and you saw those opening scenes of him yelling, "Oh my," over and over again, I feel like you could find him annoying right off the bat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And,
oh, yeah.
And then it would take you time to warm up to him over the time of the film. I feel like it's a very normal response to him being such an obnoxious character, because that's part of him, is he is an obnoxious person, but it's like he's adorable in his obnoxiousness, you know?
And he means so well. Like, the dude is so nice. He's just over the top about how he comes across.
He's just intense. And this first episode...
He's fantastic.
Yeah, this first episode softens that intensity. Not that, like, it ever softens him down. He's still intense, but it gives us understanding for why he...
You get to kind of know him.
Yeah, you get to know him more. And it allows that level of like, oh, he's annoying, like that was there for the film, it deteriorates that.
Also, so can we talk about how if people had not watched the film and they were going into this season blind, how pissed would you be if you were watching this week to week and you get into the dream world and the episode ends with Tanjiro cutting his own neck?
Yeah,
that was the cliffhanger that episode ended on.
Yeah,
that is a cliffhanger from hell, man. If you're watching this week to week.
Yeah.
We all knew what was going to happen because we watched the film. But damn.
Honestly, they were mean with that.
But I called that. I think I called that on the podcast episode whenever we were actually covering the film.
Yeah.
I was like, I guarantee you that's where they're going to end an episode just to throw people off. Like, I swear I had conversations about that, and then they did it, and I was like, fuck yeah, I was right.
I did it. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Anime's just that predictable. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought the series was really good. I'm trying to find what I rated the film. I don't know if it's here.
Did we not put that on the spreadsheet?
We did not. We did not put it on the spreadsheet. That is before we have updated the spreadsheet. So
I think I gave it a 9, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I was probably up there as well.
Yeah, and if I had to do this, I would honestly give it... I don't know if I can give it a 10. Like, I feel like my heart's set on 9.5. But then there's part of me that's also like, but we got so much Lisa, give it a 10. But no, I can solidly give it a 9.5 without question. The tentacles weren't as bad on this, I will say. I didn't hate those nearly as much. I don't know if it's because my brain got over the culture shock of them, or maybe they softened them a little bit for the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I taking into consideration the fact that they have already made this content once, I'm going to give it a 9. I really like the movie. I really like the show. I really like that it's an arc. I am knocking that point off for the fans that are upset that they didn't get the content that they wanted. The reason why I'm not knocking more off for that is because of the fact that we are in a giant panini right now and people need work. And I understand, like I think studios need leeway right now to be able to make the content that we want. And because of shows like Haikyuu, which is one of my personal favorite shows, having that episode, those couple episodes of seeing them deteriorate, and it's not the only show that's done that. There are plenty of shows that we've covered here on the podcast and watched in our own personal lives that have 1 or 2 episodes that are just animated like shit, or the voice acting is horrible, or the storyline just gets fucked, or something like that, because they were pushing to get out content during a pandemic, and they pushed for it and then it ended up being shit. I would much rather have extra OVA recaps or recap series or recap films or whatever than have shitty content, because that gives them time to make what they need to make new good, so that they aren't being pressured from accounting people, because we all know it's the financial department that's going to be pressuring them to release new content. And so if they have to release OVAs that are recaps or series that are recaps, films that are recaps, to get those accountants off of their back so that they can make good content, I am here for it, you know? Normally I would not be. Normally that would not be an excuse for me, but I am giving them leeway because of the fact that we're in a pandemic.
Don't panhandle to these people. Don't knock off a full point. Just because the people are upset that they did a recap arc, none of that matters. This is our own little world. We dictate what the people who listen to this think. People listen to this for our opinions and to listen to us bullshit.
Okay, well then...
Don't let them fall.
I can find another
don't let
excuse.
them influence your 9.
I can find another excuse for knocking off a point.
Think about the better animation. The OPs and EDs that we got on this were absolutely fantastic.
They were really good.
It's all Lisa. Come on, give it a 9.5. You know you want to. It's Christmas. It's the spirit of giving. Be generous.
I'm not generous. I'm a selfish bitch. We know this.
I went on a full bit of trying to be the dick here. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's not often I go on full bits like that too.
I know, right? Yeah. No.
I put on a face there for a minute.
But yeah, okay. So let's see where this ranks in the second season drop rate, because I'm curious. So for those of you guys who don't know, I have all of our drop rates categorized into 4 different categories. We have just regular first season 1 or 2 arc shows, and that is the main drop rate. That's kind of the drop rate that we consider to be the most important. Then there is second seasons or third season, like continually seasons, because like I said, those have already been filtered. Films and more than 26 episodes. So for instance, like Prince of Tennis or something, it's going to have a higher drop rate than like Wise Man's Grandchild. I just said that one because it's the first one on the list, because of the fact that it has 176 episodes or whatever. So people are going to drop it halfway through, more likely, right? So yes. Second seasons, we have ReZero second season part 1 is at a 1.68% drop rate. We have K-On! Season 2 is at a 3.95% drop rate. Food Wars The Final Plate is a 2.39% drop rate. Haikyuu Season 2 is a 0.75, so that's so far the best. Kaguya-sama Season 2 is a 2.63. Ooh, this is huge. Oh, that's The Promised Neverland.
Yeah, there's a reason why that's at a 16% drop rate. Yeah. So fuck that.
I was like, why is that so big? Oh, it's The Promised Neverland. I understand now.
Big Wind-Up is at a 2.39.
Yeah, and then we've got Laid Back Camp Season 2 at a 1.33. So this...
But again, I will argue that this drop rate is actually a 1.1.
Yeah.
Instead of a 2.67.
I'm going to keep it at a 2.67 for now, because that is what the numbers are actually telling me, but I will revise when Entertainment Arc fully finishes, and then I will go back and update this drop rate, and we will see how it changes.
You win this round.
I'm just following the numbers, my guy. So yeah, that's a little bit of info. Oh, also you can find Demon Slayer on Crunchyroll. I know we did like vaguely mention that earlier, but yeah, it's all on Crunchyroll.
And it's also on Funimation. It's releasing on both on a week-to-week basis. However, the dub has not started for this as of yet, I don't think.
Right. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, to my knowledge, the dub for this has not actually officially started. I don't know if Funimation is just having a time because of the film. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% certain. Also, I could be wrong. I haven't checked Funimation in a while. I know the Entertainment District arc has not even started dubbing yet, so I don't know if Mugen Train has actually started yet. But last time I had checked, they had not.
Okay. Good to know. Well, in that case, next episode is going to be something fun.
Yeah, so next week we have our end of the year review where we take everything that we have covered in 2021 and rate everything from worst to best in that order.
Yeah. And then the week after
Although
that,
I have a revision.
Okay.
Do you want to just do lowest 10 and then top 10? Instead of having a 3-hour long episode like we did last year?
Yeah, let's just do West 10, top 10.
Because I feel like that'd make life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And then for our first episode of 2022, we have our anime awards, where we take our best boys and best girls and best OPs and EDs, our anime of the year, and all of that fun stuff, and just make it like a little award show where we talk about what our top things are. Blue and I argue a lot over what goes into what category and what should win said categories. We had to tie on some things last year because why the hell not?
We did.
And it's a fun time. The next 2 episodes are probably my favorite ones that we do of the year because it's just a lot of banter and doing what we do best of picking things apart and deciding what is good and what is bad, at least in our opinions, because as we have said since the very beginning, we are 2 idiots that do not have any sort of fucking qualifications to be able to do any of this. We just rant and rabble, and for some reason you guys put up with it and continue to listen to it, and we could not be more grateful. This has been a fucking fantastic year.
It really has.
For podcast growth. Like the growth and feedback and everything else that we have gotten throughout this year has been absolutely I can fucking speak. Mind-numbing, and I am forever grateful.
Yeah, me too.
For this.
Mm-hmm. It's been such a good year, and a lot of big changes for both Brad and I, not just on the podcast, but also in our personal lives and in our professional lives as well. Lots and lots of big things have happened, and next year, the beginning of the next year.
Doggo. Doggo.
That sounds like someone's at the door, I think. Lots of
I hear both doggos.
Yeah, both of the whoops. There you go. But lots. Next year, I think, is going to be a lot more stable for us as well because, like I said, both Brad and I have gone through a lot of big changes this year. But we're pretty settled, I think, now. I think we're getting to the point where we know where we are at, and so next year, I know a couple of times throughout the end of this last year, there's been some last minute changes to what episodes are coming out. And a lot more solo episodes than we normally have. So don't worry, we're back on track. And we'll be just fine at the beginning of next year. So you have lots to look forward to. With some really good ones. So if you have anything that you need us to cover next year, any anime that you're like, yes, please cover that, let us know. Hit us up in those comments or in the DMs or wherever you can find us. To be honest, just let us know what you want us to cover. If there's a new anime that's dropping that we haven't talked about, that we don't know about, send us it. Let us know when it's coming out. If you've read the manga or whatever and you're just super hyped for it, let us know because we would love to cover what you want us to.
Yeah, like you can find us all over the place. BnB Anime on Instagram, Twitter, Blue's at Blue Lavender STM on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Brad Carter Gaming on Instagram, and I stream on Twitch. Big Twitch things coming next year. I've got some fun things in the work that are kind of coming along, and I'm looking forward to a lot of that, but also just podcast things. Like I said, BnB Anime on Instagram, Twitter. We got a fancy website that Blue can tell you about because she does a lot better at explaining these things than I do.
Yeah. So if you go to www.bnbanime.com, that is where we have all of our episodes already there online for you to be able to download, or links to your favorite listening platform. If you prefer to download off Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever you use to listen, we're probably on there. We also have background information on there. We have pictures of both Brad and I, so if you're curious as to what we look like, we're on there. We also have artwork that both Brad and I have done. We've got friends of the podcast. We've got fun links. And I've also been talking to our website creator, who is going to be uploading on there all of our ratings for all of the shows that we've covered, along with all of the dropped rates for all of the shows. So you guys can check that out. as well. We're gonna have that as a new tab on the website. So look forward to that in the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, YouTube channel where we got fancy thumbnails and all of our episodes archived. And next year we have some very exciting things coming to the YouTube channel as well. We're getting a new overhaul on like video intros and stuff like that as well. So we have some really cool things coming in the works.
Yeah.
2022 is going to be a massive year for both of us, both inside the podcast and out. We have some outside venture things that are going to be slightly coming to a head next year. So we got some cool things coming.
Yeah, and also if you are listening on YouTube, be aware that you are listening 1 week behind. So if you want to catch up, go over to a listening platform like Spotify or Apple Podcasts because they release one episode beforehand than the YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube and you want to hit those up, but also YouTube gets a comment section, which is fun.
Yeah. So again, let us know all the different things that you want us to watch and cover, because although I keep the spreadsheet typically planned out like 2 or 3 months in advance, we barely follow that anyway.
I know, we slot stuff in all the time.
Let us know things. Like, it's definitely a card subject to change situation. So let us know what you want us to cover. We can work it out.
Yeah.
Just while Blue's in school, don't give us anything that's like over 12 or 13 episodes unless we need to cover it in 2 different parts, because real busy and also real lazy.
But don't worry, I have a long summer, so when summer hits, then we can do longer ones. But I do definitely want to cover My Hero season 3 in the next year, and I know that that's a 2-core, so I'm gonna have to get started watching that soon. And then we got The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime on the list. We've got Kuroko no Basuke season 2. We've got lots of Haikyuu. I think season 4 is a 2-core as well. We've got lots of things to cover. So look forward to that.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for listening. Blue and I greatly appreciate it. Next week, as mentioned before, we have our anime awards. So we're going to have a fun time talking about our bottom 10 from worst to best, and then our top 10 from worst to best.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and until then, we'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.